All right, Rangers, listen up. Today's Roundup is packed with drama, insider revelations, and some serious transfer twists that'll keep you on the edge of your seat. So here's what's in store. We're talking potential new signings, surprise exits, and even a bombshell from none other than Connor Goldson about what's really going on behind closed doors at the club. First up, we've got eyes on young Kwame Poku. The lad could be our next big coup in the transfer market, but that's just the start. Rumor has it that one of our recent summer signings might already be on his way out the door, and we've got some fierce competition from Celtic as we try to snap up Motherwell's wonder kid, Lennon Miller, in a race worth £4 million. And it doesn't stop there. Word is that bringing in Lawrence Shankland this January could be a costly mistake. Oh, and here's a big one. The club's apparently plotting to find a replacement for our captain, James Tavernier. Want the full scoop on these headlines and what they could mean for Rangers' future? Stick around till the end. You won't want to miss any of it. So here we go again. Rangers looking to get another bargain from across the border, and this time it's Peterborough's Kwame Poku in the crosshairs. Now, we've pulled off this sort of stunt before with Joe Aribo and Calvin Bassey. A few $100,000 paid out, and then what happens? Well, we sell them on for a combined £33 million. Quite the racket, and one that's driven clubs down south up the wall. They watch their homegrown talent head off to Rangers, only to see the prices shoot up when we sell them off. Not too shabby, right? Now, Peterborough's owner, Dara McAnthony, an outspoken one, that lad, doesn't seem too thrilled about the idea of us nabbing Poku for what he considers peanuts. He's out here declaring, on his podcast no less, that he's expecting a good £6 million or more if Poku goes anywhere. McAnthony's confident a tribunal would see things his way based on all the development they've poured into the lad. He reckons if Poku's going to go, Peterborough deserve a slice that would set their accounts smiling. But here's the catch. The big man's not exactly acknowledging the good old cross-border rules, is he? The manager, Darren Ferguson, Sir Alex's son, he's also in on it, acting like Poku's going to stay in League One till the summer. He's chatting about safety nets and compensation, probably hoping this will keep suitors at bay. But the reality is Rangers don't play by those same rules. If we play our cards right, we could get Poku for a lot less than McAnthony's fantasy tribunal number, while those Premier League clubs would have to fork out the big bucks. Now, here's a question for you, one that's bound to set things off. If Rangers do swoop in and snag Poku for a minimal fee, would you say that's smart business, or are we just taking advantage of clubs down south? Well, Derek Ferguson's certainly not holding back, is he? He's out here suggesting that Robin Proper, fresh from FC20, could already be on his way out of Rangers. Poor lad's only been here a few months, but if you listen to Ferguson, you'd think he'd been lingering on the bench for ages. Ferguson's got concerns about Proper's pace, or lack of it to be fair. Says he's plodding about like he's recovering from some kind of injury. Not exactly what you want to hear about a new signing, is it? Now, the whole thing's got folks scratching their heads. We let Ben Davies head to Birmingham and moved on from Connor Goldson because, well, there were concerns about whether they could keep up with the pace and physicality we need in the Scottish Premiership. And now, Ferguson reckons we've just brought in more of the same, with Proper same lack of pace, same timidity, and no real physical presence. It's looking a bit like a like-for-like replacement that's left more questions than answers. So here's the £1 million question for you, one that's sure to get folks talking. Did Rangers make a right clanger in signing Proper, or does he just need time to prove himself in our league? Connor Goldson's got some truth bombs here, hasn't he? He's opened up about the real state of things after that glorious title win in 2021. And honestly, it's a bit of a gut punch. Turns out, even back then, he and the lads knew we weren't exactly building on that success. We had this golden opportunity to put serious daylight between us and Celtic, but what happened instead? Well, not a lot if you listen to Goldson. He mentions Steven Gerrard's "fix the roof while the sun's shining" comment, which now feels like a proper warning sign. The foundation was solid, the squad was strong, and for once, it looked like we could push on and really dominate, but the club, according to Goldson, didn't strengthen like they should have. Instead of adding to that winning team, it seems like we just coasted, hoping what we had would keep us ahead. And now, with the benefit of hindsight and a bit of distance from the club, Goldson's admitting what the dressing room actually felt. The boys knew things weren't improving. They weren't getting the reinforcements they needed to stay on top. It's a missed chance that still clearly bugs him, and rightly so. So here's one to spark a good debate. Did Rangers completely drop the ball after that title win, squandering a chance to truly dominate Scottish football? Or was it always going to be tough to stay ahead? Looks like young Lennon Miller's a hot ticket these days, with both Rangers and Celtic sniffing around him, and Motherwell's not about to let him go cheap either. They're supposedly asking £4 million, hoping to top what they got from Celtic for David Turnbull back in 2020, and Miller's clearly got options, but here's the interesting bit. It's not all about cash for him. The lad wants proper game time, and he's not in a rush to jump ship if he's not going to get it. Miller's dad, Lee, who knows his way around Scottish football, has apparently been coaching him to be patient. He reckons young Lennon's at the right club for now, a place where he's got trust, confidence, and a smile on his face. Lee's talked about Rangers and Celtic being interested since Miller was a wee lad, but they've always held off, believing Motherwell's been the best place for him to develop so far. Now, however, there's a feeling that a move-up could be on the cards if he can keep racking up those all-important minutes on the pitch. And here's where Craig Moore throws his 2 pence in. He reckons Rangers might be the right fit, saying the youngster could walk right into the midfield and get the game time he's after. That's crucial, especially when other clubs are likely to come sniffing around in January. So here's one to spark some real debate. With Lennon Miller's potential sky high, would he really get the development he needs at Rangers, or would he just get lost in the shuffle like so many young talents before him? The Lawrence Shankland saga, one that's gone from promising to pretty underwhelming in just a few months. Back in the summer, after that stellar season, he seemed like the kind of lad who could add some real firepower for Rangers. But fast forward to now, and he's only managed to bag 1 goal in 18 appearances. Just 1. For a striker who's meant to be a goal machine, that's hardly the stuff that'll have fans clambering for his signature, is it? Now, let's not beat around the bush. Cyril Dessers hasn't exactly been lighting it up either, so there's definitely a need for a proper finisher to come in. But with Shankland's current form, it's hard to see him as the solution. The lad's struggling to find the net, and the last thing Rangers need is yet another forward who can't get the job done in the final third. And look, it's not as if we're lacking options on paper. We've got Hamza, Igamani, Danilo, and Dessers, but none of them have consistently delivered. And that's part of why we're sitting 9 points off the pace in the league. It's clear we need someone fresh who's got both the form task and the mentality to lead that line, not just a name with a decent past season. So here's a question to get the debate going. Is it worth the risk to bring Shankland to Rangers in January, hoping he'll rediscover his form? Or would that be another costly mistake we can't afford in our title chase? So it sounds like Rangers might finally be looking to part ways with James Tavernier, the man who's been practically synonymous with the right-back position since 2015. He's a fan favorite for good reason, having notched up nearly 500 appearances and a pile of goals, especially those penalties and free kicks, which he's made his speciality. But this season, well, things aren't quite the same, are they? The lad's been struggling, his form's dipped, and even the most loyal fans are starting to wonder if he's still got what it takes to lead the line. Mick Brown, the ex-United scout who knows a thing or two about spotting the right timing to move on, reckons Rangers are indeed ready to look for a replacement. He even hints that it could happen as early as January if the cash comes through. The question is, whether Rangers would really be willing to see him leave, given he's been such a central figure on and off the pitch. But the management and recruitment team don't seem blind to the fact that Tavernier's recent performances have been far from his best. With his contract still stretching until 2026, there's a chance the club could cash in while he's still got some market value. It's a tough call though, especially when the squad's already stretched, and finding someone who could offer Tavernier's set-piece magic and leadership won't be easy. But if they don't act now, there's a risk of watching his value dwindle along with his consistency. So here's a question for you, die-hard fans. Would it be a smart move to cash in on Tavernier and bring in fresh legs, or should Rangers stick with their captain through thick and thin and see out his contract? Comment below what you think about the news. Don't forget to leave a like on the video too. Help me out. I post videos every day talking about our Rangers, so if you're not subscribed, you're missing out on the latest news. See you soon!